Picture it, a vast sun-scorched land with red deserts stretching into a shimmering horizon. The terrain can be as unforgiving as it is beautiful, dotted with craters, gorges, and towering monoliths sculpted by the winds of time. Sound like Mars? Think again. It's Australia, and it's a stunning continent with some very hostile environments. To live in areas with high heat and little water, Australians take sustainability very seriously, and that value has been key to the development of the Australian space industry. In this episode, we'll talk to special guest Melissa Zwart about the importance of sustainability in space exploration and how it informs her work researching how to grow plants in space. I'm Sarah Smay, and this is Space for Humans. Melissa Zwart is a professor of law and the deputy director and the chief investigator in the ARC Center of Excellence in Plants for Space. First, we asked her, why does sustainability matter in space?
Sustainability is absolutely vital for space travel because the conditions of space are so hostile to humans. There is radiation, no oxygen, very little access to resources like water. So sustainability is learning about how we can make use of far less to be able to preserve human life and indeed help us to thrive in the universe. Humans, I think, are destined to go to space. I am in the camp of people who firmly believe that we are explorers and we do explore and we need to learn about new environments. I'm very influenced by the Australian Aboriginal concept that links everything to place. And so instead of regarding space as something other and distant and unconnected to Earth, they view space just as an extension of our place on Earth. So I think we should view space as just an extension of where we walk on the Earth, we can also walk in space.
In her work with Plants for Space, Melissa is researching innovative new ways to grow plants in microgravity, where there's no clear up for leaves and down for roots. And that's exciting for both the future of space travel and the future of agriculture on Earth.
So by learning how to grow plants in the hostile environment of space, we can also translate those lessons to here on Earth in environments that are also not very friendly. We can look at places where, for example, the soil is not very rich or there is very limited water, and learning those lessons about how we can grow plants in a way that is sustainable, that doesn't use a lot of resources, that enables us to renew and use things in a very limited way. That will not only help us in long journeys in space and survival on the surface of the moon and perhaps on Mars, but also how we can utilise that knowledge here on Earth in things like controlled environment agriculture. So the work that Plants for Space is doing aligns very much with the Australian Space Agency's goal of sustainability, because what we're looking at is growing a lot with very little, which means that we can have very small inputs of things like nutrients, water, sunlight, all of those valuable resources, and produce much more with those very limited inputs. We can modify plants, so not only do they provide us with things like the nutrients that are in the food itself, but so that they can produce things on demand, like vitamins, like medicines, and we can also use them to produce things like building material in the future.
If you've been watching this show, you know that Plants for Space has had great success with a little aquatic plant called Duckweed. And it doesn't just have a cute name, it also grows fast. It's a great source of vitamins and nutrients, and it makes a pretty tasty burger. Plants for Space has a saying, if you can grow it in space, you can grow it anywhere. And that's important because Earth has its own share of hostile spaces and environmental challenges. As programs like Plants for Space seek sustainable new ways to produce both nutrition and materials, they're helping improve life both up in space and down on Earth. And as Melissa shared with us, that focus on sustainability has played an important role since the earliest days of Australia's space industry.
Australia is a great reuser of things that other people don't want. The US came to Australia in the 1960s and was very active at Woomera in the space launches that we had there. RESAT, which was Australia's first domestically built satellite, was sent to space on a rocket that was given to us by the US who didn't need it anymore, so we were very grateful for that. And in fact, if you go to Woomera now, you can still see that Redstone rocket lying there in the children's playground.
Thanks to the work of researchers like Melissa, we may one day see astronauts eating duckweed burgers on their way to the red deserts of Mars, made from plants grown to support a mission that's comfortable, healthy, and sustainable. But for now, I'm going to take this duckweed muffin to the red rocks of Sedona, Arizona. Thanks for watching, and thank you to Melissa Zwart and everyone at Plants for Space. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Space for Humans. The duckweed's actually pretty good.